Gen Z, they don't want to work. Employers don't want to hire Gen Z. Gen Z have social problems, interpersonal problems, they don't have soft skills, and it's very hard to work with them. This is something that I've heard a lot lately, and I think that it's a little bit unfair from the employees and society to tell this to all of these young adults, because it's not true. And in this video, I wanted to speak with you about this because I have a personal vendetta on people and companies and employers that are telling this lie to everyone. Hi, my name is Cornelia. Welcome to my channel. I usually post videos about corporate environment and I work in talent acquisition. That's why I also post things about how you can find a job, what can you say, not say in job interviews and so on. And in today's video, I wanted to speak with you a little bit about this myth that young adults, they don't want to work, and the fact that they have a really hard time finding a job. Because I think that there are a lot of other problems that we really don't take into consideration when we make this affirmation. First of all, I just want to say that we failed these kids as a society because they really don't have the right guidance in finding a career for them or a path in terms of works and so on. Our parents always told us that if you are doing a university, you'll be better paid, you'll have more chances to find a job and so on. And this is a lie, because not every university guarantees that you will find a job and that job will be well paid. The first problem with all of these kids not finding jobs at the moment is the fact that they've studied in a field that is not really needed in society, or they studied to gain some skills that they can't really be applied in any job in a specific way. This is the first problem, I think, the fact that they are actually going and study for 3 years in a university that is useless. And yeah, I'm not gonna name the university that I think that are useless, but in my opinion, I think that they should have the right guidance from high school, from their parents, and from a counselor that should be paid by that specific school, or I don't know, by the state, to guide them to find and choose the right path for them. Another hot take that I wanted to say here is the fact that not everyone is made for university. University, it's an academic world, yeah? You go there to study academics, to study research, to study at a high level, right? Not everyone is made to study all of this, and there are a lot of students that really have a hard time in university to study all of these things. There are a lot of other jobs that we need in society that people can do without going to university. For example, becoming an electrician, becoming a plumber, becoming a builder, and all of these things are needed in our society. I mean, in Europe, we do have a problem with this. We don't actually have professionals that are doing all of these things, and it's very hard to find a good professional. And of course, they are paid a lot more than they were paid, I don't know, 20 years ago, because we really have a shortage of this type of professionals in our society. So yeah, you don't really need to do a university to get a higher paid job. You just really need to do some research and ask for advice from people that work within these fields, within labor market and so on, to find a career that is needed in society at that moment in time, and not just go for the average career that everyone wants to have, that your parents are telling you it's good to study for. And when you finish university, you find out the fact that there are a lot of other people that finish the same university as you. The competition is very big, and there are not that many roles open at that moment in time because they have a saturation in that specific profession. I'm not quite sure if a teenager or a young adult should do all of this because they don't have the right experience, the right life experience, let's say, to go and find all of these informations or to research about this. That's why I think that is best for the parents and someone from their school, a counselor, a psychologist or stuff like that, to help them, guide them to choose the right path for them where they can actually find a job in the labor market. The next point that I wanted to touch is the fact that employers don't want to work with young people. And if you search this on Google, you'll actually find a lot of articles where they are telling the employer's opinion about the Gen Z. The fact that they don't have social skills, they are not creative, they can't resolve problems, they are not adaptive, they can't receive feedback, they are very sensitive. Or maybe this might be true, but we need to think about two other aspects as well here. The first one is the fact that the employers compare this behavioral and this lack of skills and so on of these young adults that never worked before with the skills of a person that has been in a field for, I don't know, 10, 20 years. And of course, if you never worked before in a company or in a corporate environment, you never had the chance to actually know to do all of these things that the employers are asking. Yeah. For example, time management. Maybe you know how to schedule your activities, or you know how to make a schedule for you to learn for different exams in university. But it's very different from that moment when you are very pressured to deliver something at work. And if you can't deliver it within that timeline, the company will lose like tens of millions of dollars or stuff like that. So yeah, it's the pressure is different. And I know that maybe people can transfer the skills that they gain in their personal lives in university to their work environment, but it's kind of different. And the pressure from a work environment is greater and bigger than the pressure from you not washing the dishes in a specific day, even though you planned this and you put it on your to-do list for that day. People kind of need to give them a chance to learn all of these soft skills that they are lacking. Because I work in talent acquisition, I recruit a lot, I speak a lot with professionals that have 20, 30, 15 years of experience and so on. And I can tell you that there is a difference in their attitude towards work and working for a specific company. And this is the second point that I wanted to touch here. The fact that people that have 20, 30 years of experience, they have a totally different attitude towards work than the people that are young at the moment. This older generation is more willing to do stuff that the younger generation is not, because this is the way that they were taught, and this is what they've learned through their experience working in 2000s, for example. You didn't have that many law labors at that time that protected the employees. So they were used to work overtime without even being paid. They were used to stay in weekends. They were bullied by their employee to do a lot of work in a short time and so on. And this is the way that they formed as professionals working in a certain industry. And of course, this older generation will be more willing to do all of these things again, because this is the way that they were formed as a professional. Yeah. And of course, an employer is very bothered by these things. Why these young kids don't want to work overtime? Why these young kids don't want to do this extra stuff? These young adults, they don't want to do it because they have another attitude to work. They are just there working for the time that they are paid, and they are going home after that. They expect this kind of decency from their employer side. And of course, the employer don't want to do this. This is something that every company is doing. Yeah, they want to get as many work hours and to pay you as little as they can. So yeah, this is something that is unfortunately normal within our society. We can also see this from this perspective, the fact that Gen Z, it's not really a problem, or the skills that they have are not really a problem. It's in fact a problem of their attitude towards work that will make an employer not hire them, because they are not willing to do all of this extra stuff that the older generation of professional was used to do 20 years ago, when we didn't have that many protection laws for employees. Next thing that I wanted to speak about are the salaries. Employers offer very low salaries for entry-level employees or junior employees. And this is truly unfair. I mean, their mentality is the fact that, okay, they are here to learn, and also they don't have experience, so why should I pay them more? You need to understand the fact that people need to pay rent, and employers should pay them a fair salary. They can't live without having a salary that can lead them to afford paying the rent, paying groceries, and of course minimal things that you need to have a decent life in general. I think the salary that you gain is one of the biggest motive to work in a certain company. I mean, how can you be performant? How can you be happy? How can you give your 100% to work and achieve all of your objectives in that specific company if you are stressed about the fact that you don't have enough money to pay your rent? I mean, I don't know what's in the mind of these employers, thinking and lying themselves that employees are in fact happy to work in their workplace because they offer them free pizza one time per month, or they offer them some courses to develop themselves, or they have a great culture, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I understand that you don't want to pay them much. I understand that you want your company to be more profitable, and paying salaries are in fact a cost for your company. But at the same time, you really can't lie to yourself by telling you that salary is not that important and juniors are just there to learn and they should just start from somewhere. This is unfair. This is really, really unfair, and it pisses me off so much when I hear a lot of employers saying these things. They are here to learn, and in fact, they are not doing that much. That's why I pay them the minimum wage. No, you need to pay them so they can have a decent lifestyle, so they can afford their rent, afford their monthly groceries, and so on, without having to ask for extra money from their parents' side. No wonder why they don't want to work 9 hours with minimum wage. I mean, And the last point that I wanted to make is the fact that not a lot of employers are willing to hire part-time. I think that part-time jobs are the dream for a student or for a teen, for someone that is trying to get their first job into the labor market and at the same time trying to finish the university or their studies as well. And this is very hard because if you want to be a good student, if you want to actually go to all of the courses, try to study for all of the exams and have good grades, it's very hard to do all of this and have a full-time job on the side. I know this because I've done it, and I've done it when I was at my master's program, and usually the masters are designed to let the students have a full-time job on the side as well. I mean, this is the way that is done in Romania, but I can't really think of having a full-time job and at the same time having the schedule that I had in my bachelor's program, where sometimes I had 8 to 12 hours of courses each day. And I mean, when should I go and working a full-time job? At night? And then where should I get my sleep? I'm not quite sure why employees don't offer this opportunity of part-time. This could be perfect for everyone. These young adults can go and get actually some experience in the labor market. At the same time, they can do their studies, and the employers can have a person on the side that are doing all of these things, and they can also offer them a smaller salary because, of course, they will pay that specific employee for 4 hours and not for 8 hours. I'm not quite sure why we still have this problem of not having enough part-time positions for all of these teens and young adults to get a job and actually gain experience in the labor market that they can use after they finish their studies, and be better prepared in terms of soft skills and stuff like that to actually work in a full-time position after they finish their studies. In conclusion, this will be some of the factors that will debunk this myth that young adults don't want to work. They don't want to work because they have a different attitude towards work. They want to have a decent job where they don't really have to stay overtime every day, where they want to have a fair wage. So a salary where they can afford to live, pay their rent, pay their groceries, and so on. And at the same time, they want to find a job in their domain. I mean, I can relate to this because I wanted to find a job in the domain that I've studied at university. And there are a lot of teens that waste their time in doing all of these universities, and basically they are prepared for a job or they have some skills for some specific jobs that are not needed in society. That's why they can't find a job within the domain that they've studied in university. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and also comment down below about the subject. I think that is really important, and we really need to think about this from these young teens' points of view as well, not only from the employer point of view. Don't forget to check one of my other videos on these related subjects. Bye!